but it's all gone horribly wrong. We're going, and I'm nervous. And that's exactly what we're doing now. We've transferred everything over to Stampy.
Why on earth is our bathroom flooding with water?
2 massive disasters have taken place. How do you commute to work? On quad bike up a mountain. There's got to be some job satisfaction in that, I think. I didn't think we'd be back in the motorhome. So today we are going to Wales. We are going to go and climb whatever they call Snowdon now. 2 massive disasters have taken place over the course of about 2 hours. One disaster was my doing. I've already had plenty of tears over that now. The second disaster has meant we've had to change vehicle. And so here we are back in Stampy. Daz is driving. And I've mopped away the tears, I've got rid of the adrenaline, and I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm just hoping wherever we're staying is going to allow us to check in, because if we get there close to midnight, it could be that they've shut their front gate. Thankfully, we have accommodation, so in some way, shape or form, we should be able to get in. Poor old Sammy had to cope with being part of both of the accidents today, but he was an absolute superstar and was kept safely in the back. And didn't seem to be that worried at all. So over the next few days, all being well, we'll get to the top of the summit, we'll see some beautiful things, and my goodness me, do we need some peace after what's happened. Got into the car, it's all packed ready for us to go to Wales, including a roof box. I missed my turning for the car parking space where I normally park, which took me to a car park with a barrier on it. We zoomed through the barrier, no noise, no reaction, got out of the car, and I looked up and I said to Will, oh my God, we've somehow got into this car park. How have we not damaged the roof box? I was looking at the car park barrier thinking, I'm sure we wouldn't have fitted through that, but I looked at the roof box, it looked absolutely fine. And then we walked away from the vehicle. So my 12-year-old mutters the words that make my stomach completely lurch. Mum, it is damaged, there's a massive hole in the back. So somehow we managed to zip through and not even notice the fact that we damaged the roof box. It made no noise. I assume it just bowed beautifully before it could bow no more, and then just cracked, shattered. It's pouring with rain, absolutely filthy day it is today. Really, I mean, I'm sat here with soaking wet feet. So we put a makeshift plastic bag on top of the roof box, but it's full of all of our packing. And Daz, of course, is mortified and tells us that he's going to have to get some coverage for it, otherwise it's going to fill up with water. Then on the way back from Petersfield, hoping that it doesn't come down with any more torrential rain, my car starts flashing with engine warning signs. There's no power to it. I'm on a steep incline on the A3, I've got big vehicles behind me, and I can't reach anywhere beyond 35 miles per hour. I'm trying to go down and down, further down into the gears to see what works. I put on my hazards quickly, I'm panicking, I can barely speak. So I managed to pull off and find somewhere for the car with the hazards on. The cars are still zipping past us at 60 miles per hour. Thankfully, green flag, get called out. We don't have to wait too long, about 35 minutes. And there's about 5 faults on my car, all of which in total, if we went with the first quote that we received, are going to cost about £900. That's after paying about £400 3 months ago, and then last summer paying about £3,000 to keep it on the road. I'm thinking we're going to have to cancel the break. I look on Airbnb and see that there's no cancellation policy on the stay that we have, so we can't get any money back on it. Then Daz has the brilliant idea that we go up in Stampy, and that's exactly what we're doing now. We've transferred everything over to Stampy. It's now nearly 6 o'clock in the evening and we're heading to North Wales. And when I say North Wales, I mean close to Anglesey. So it's going to be a long journey. I'm grateful for Daz for giving it a go, because my 8-year-old was so sad when he heard that we might not be able to go today. So that's it, that's what's happened to us. Let's hope things get better from now.
Right now it's to get us to the north of Wales before midnight. It's literally saying 11:47 on there, so with the stop we'll get there about midnight and just safely. Excuse the light. That's nothing to do with me. It's this funny thing up here. I've just stepped into the bathroom as we stopped for pot noodles on the way to Wales, and I noticed some things floating around in here. Why on earth is our bathroom flooding with water? It's all wet along here and up here, so I'm guessing something's coming in from around this side or above. It's not much of a clue, unless it's just been where it's out on the drive and it's been raining. Anyway, another strange thing.
After a long journey and some essential stops, we finally reached Bryn Teg Country and Leisure Retreat just after 1 a.m. We found it on Airbnb, and for a few nights in Snowdonia for a family of 6 and a dog, it was very reasonably priced. There was no chance of getting the barrier up at this time, so we parked in the space just outside reception, and thankfully our accommodation was a minute's walk away. After a brief battle with the lockbox, we were in. It was definitely going to be a slow morning, and Sammy was already settling in. It felt like the calm after the storm. Here's where we're staying. Just gotta hope to see some mountains in a minute, but can't see any right now. Right, let's explore, Sammy. I'm just going to see if I can find the swimming pool and hopefully a shop, because everybody is starving, because I don't think there really was a proper meal yesterday. There was foodstuffs, but no proper meals. There were too many disasters to have proper meals. Okay, it's a pretty cool play park, and I'm thinking this must be the swimming pool. Oh, Sammy's just had a nice drink here, and I found the entrance to the swimming pool. Cafe on site. So Daz was an absolute legend yesterday. He drove and drove and drove, only stopping to pick up fuel and an energy drink. And he never normally drinks those things, apart from when he doesn't want to jeopardise his entire family by falling asleep at the wheel. And he has a condition called, it's a rheumatic condition, and was diagnosed with it when he was a young man. It's called ankylosing spondylitis. So he gets incredibly painful, inflamed joints. It sort of centres around the hip and the back. And he's on a lifetime of medication for the chronic condition. But exercise is, of course, medicine, so he does need to exercise. So yesterday was bad for him because he was sat the entire time. So yeah, knowing that he could go and do some swims, potentially by himself tomorrow as well, would be amazing. Well, check that out for a facility. So you've got dog parking, dog wash, dog poo bags and a doggy poo bin. They thought of everything. There's even a woodland walk. Well, that's a welcome little sight. A cute little stream. This is a whole bunch of excellent. So, an espresso machine and beautiful pods. I have no idea how to use them. The bonus of taking the motorhome is that I found my delicious coffee bags, which is a bit easier than doing the cafetiere, but I am willing to teach myself how to use this if I can get a decent cup of coffee. But is this like a chocolate box where they've left all the rubbish ones till last? We shall see. I've taught myself how to use this machine. It was quite hard, especially on low sleep. But the boys are having some bara brith. This was a complimentary cake left. A bara brith, which apparently is a traditional fruit cake made with tea, there needs to be a hyphen on this label, made with tea-soaked currants and sultanas, marmalade and spices. Because yeah, there's cafes on site. The food isn't available until 5. There's no shop. Now we're in the motorhome. The idea of just popping down to the shop, it isn't as easy as we thought. So luckily I bought a bag of porridge, and so felt very old-fashioned this morning, stirring porridge on the stove. But it was nice actually. Luxury. And I'm really enjoying having a balcony. I've just got to somehow find some sort of energy to climb a mountain today. We'll see.
If you have any energy left over, you can try and get into this box of treats, which apparently is a trick box because it's got, if you shake it, it's got treats in it or something in it. Don't rip the lid. It's a test.
Come on.
It's a test.
Come on, that's crazy.
Don't. I was going to get a knife and I thought we'll just damage the tin. He doesn't need them.
He doesn't need them. He just had one at reception.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just put no, don't.
I'm not going to damage it, darling.
Says the lady.
Says the lady who damaged.
Ta-da! It's a nice doggy dog treats.
Samuel, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Should we have them outside? Come on!
Solo piece to camera. So plans went awry yesterday and we didn't get here, and the speed's already said, till after 1 AM. We couldn't get through the barrier, so we left Stampy, luckily, in a car parking space and half of the stable space by reception, till this morning when we could get the key and get through the barrier. And just dumped as much as we could into the mobile home that we're in now, and then got to bed about 2 AM, although for some reason B said she couldn't get to sleep and had Hosier, the singer, going round in her head before bed. And then this morning everyone's woken up a little bit creaky, not quite fancying the idea of doing a 4 or 5 mile trek up a mountain. So the big one's headed off to the gym to warm his muscles up. He tried taking the next one in line, but unfortunately there's an age restriction, so he couldn't. But apparently this is just open to guests now, not visitors, so we have access to the pool on this site from 10 till 5, and I think on all weekend, and we also have access to the sauna and spa, although we think the spa might cost extra. If you want that kind of stuff, that's cool. The site itself, I have Bees trekked around it a little bit this morning. It looks really well maintained. The guys here have been on site for a couple of hours, mowing, moving pot plants around and all sorts. So it's nice, but we've totally lost our bearings in my mind, because last night, driving through the North Wales Expressway in pitch black, we went through 3 tunnels, which one underwater and I think 2 under mountains. Actually, I can see a mountain over there. That's the first mountain I've seen in Wales, and yet I've been in Wales for half a day. Yeah, we drove along the coast, but it was just pitch black. Couldn't see anything. I'm sure it would look lovely on the way back.
So you're about to go and enjoy the swimming pool, aren't you?
Excited. Yes.
So
It's only 11:30 in the morning, but we thought, why not? Because we don't quite know how the day's going to pan out. Why not, instead of sitting around, which we can do anywhere,
Yes.
take these boys down to the pool and at least enjoy an hour now.
Yeah.
Check it out, and then maybe we'll go back later once we've seen you off up the
Yeah, we've been very casual about this mountain climb, but we've read that there's a tourist path. This Lamberris path is a tourist path. It has a footpath all the way up. I mean, we've done Scaffold Pike. That was like inclined with shale, and it'd be easy.
Surrounded by, I mean, this does sound like the top end of a very bad ending, but you'll be fine.
Famous last words.
People going up and down, you won't be alone.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. Well, have fun at the swimming pool. We're going to wash, Sammy and I. See you later, have a bath together. Bye! Still chilling. Off go the intrepid swimmers. It. We're going, and I'm nervous. I won't deny it.
How long is it going to take?
It could take 6 hours. It could take more or less.
And you're setting off at 2.
Right, let's go. We've got to go. We're going. Bye. Okay, so we are here. We're going up here. What's I don't like this. Accident black spot. Very dangerous. Under snow and ice conditions. Okay, so we're okay. Correct kit for the conditions. We have food and drink. People know what we're doing. Food, yeah. you're okay. So guys, we're going to be 6 hours there and back. Okay, so all right. Let's hit the road. said Chris Pratt, maybe I didn't. Yeah, that was obvious, should have got that. They're playing 50 questions to pass the time, whereas I'm dealing with the pain of glute fatigue by going quiet. The Snowdon Mountain Railway travels nearly 5 miles to the peak of Yr Wydffa, excuse the pronunciation, the highest peak in Wales. Construction began in 1894 at a cost of £63,800. That works out at about £10 million in today's money. So the peak is in sight, but we just came round the corner to this incredible view. Makes it all worthwhile. Yeah, so out of all of the routes, we've definitely chosen the easiest one. It happens to be the longest. So, don't like the look of that. That looks mega difficult. Well, it's done. We're on the descent now, more than halfway. And it's twilight, and we've realised there are a lot of little midges and gnats around. And stupidly, we've come without any gnat spray, which means a few of us are getting some nibbles, which is not great because I normally carry a bug spray around with me, so I'm a bit annoyed I've forgotten it. Luckily, I've got long sleeves on. So it's interesting doing this compared to Scaffold Pike, which we did 3 years ago. This feels very much more like there's a lot of investment behind it, whereas with Scaffold Pike you've got quite a lot of treacherous paths, I suppose. Even though it's very popular, lots of families doing it 3 years ago during August. It was tricky, and there were lots of signs up sort of talking about the fact you've got to respect the pathways, because a lot of volunteers come and work on them. And there were some really grim portaloos at the bottom, and then you've just got your summit at the top and you come back down again, and that's it. Whereas this, completely different setup. So you've got the famous Snowdon Railway at the bottom, fully booked today. So that's the sort of thing you need to organise yourself for, and no return single journeys, because people tend to take their return and use it. So it's not a kind of hop on hop off type thing. So we were kind of prepared for that today. But you've got all of the touristy gift shop cafes at the bottom, and then there's, on this particular trail, I don't know whether it's Llanberis or Llanberis path, which is the easiest one. It's the longest one, but it's the easiest one. Actually has a halfway house with refreshments. So I was kind of conscious of the fact I didn't want to drink too much, but I'd also read that there were toilets at the top. And sure enough, once we went to the summit, you walk a little bit down a different pathway to the cafe, and it's really, really nice. It's got some nice toilets in, it's got overpriced food, it's got bins. There's no bins on the way up, and again, like Scaffold Pike, you are responsible for your own litter, so you need to make sure you take it with you. Whereas at Snowdon, or whatever it's called now, you've got a bin at the top and a bin at the bottom, so you need to make sure you've got something to carry your waste in. The trail as well, obviously a lot of investment going into this path, this tourist path. So a lot of it, I think there's just one little section I found quite tricky to walk on, and it's more the downhill that's a bit frightening, because you could go over on your ankle, you could slide down. But you've got a lot of really well made paths, and then towards the bottom, the first sort of quarter, it's all concrete or concreted over. So yeah, it's a very different experience. Beautiful views, amazing views. I found it hard mentally for a period on the way up. My brain was telling me, oh, you're of a certain age now, and can you do this? Are you going to make it to the top? Whereas now I'm dealing with it okay. But I do remember getting very upset on the way down Scaffold Pike, because it was constant weariness on the ankles and on the knees and going over. Whereas this path seems to be much more well laid out. It's been a good experience. Interesting time of day to do it. It was very, very hot earlier, then freezing at the top with some gusts of wind. So jumpers came out. Now we're going back down again. We're getting lynched by the gnats at dusk. I'm looking forward to my tea tonight and a glass of red wine. Something else we noticed is like, where do these members of staff, how are they getting up to these really high points to work, and how was all this stock getting up? But of course you've got the Snowdon Railway, and our theory was there must be a trade run where they have all of the drinks and food shipped up there, maybe with some members of staff. And then there was this halfway house with this lovely 60-something-year-old lady working in it. And we're thinking, oh, she's going to have to walk to wherever there's a stop for this train. Not that there were official stops, but there might have been for staff. Anyway, we walked past the halfway house a second ago and it was closing up. And we're thinking, oh, maybe she has to just like toddle off now to a stop. Oh, no. We had this engine behind us, and then she pootles along on a quad bike. So I don't know whether I'd be brave enough. I'm sure she's had some training. But yeah, this older lady of a certain age is doing the half of the mountain on a quad bike to get back home. Now that's an interesting commute to work, hey? How do you commute to work? On quad bike up a mountain. There's got to be some job satisfaction in that, I think. Join us next time when we visit a Neo-Norman National Trust property in Snowdonia, bit of a tongue twister, and we visit an amazing Victorian replica living museum in Telford, where we could interact with the inhabitants, wander around the streets and buy goods using the money of the era. We also get to stay in this cute character cottage which was once the childhood home of Cadfile author Edith Partager. Well, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and maybe think about subscribing. See you next time.